Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Quarantine with Jonathan. We're on day 6 now. And if you notice me looking down a lot in this video, it's because I've actually got lots of things I want to talk about today. So this could end up being a little bit longer than the other videos. Could end up being a lot longer, depending on how much I ramble. But yeah, I'm going to be looking down a lot because I've realized over the last few videos I keep missing things that I really wanted to talk about, and I guess that's one of the problems with doing a sort of a blog like this on a video. In some ways, you know, it's more engaging, and I did actually want to do it like this so people could sort of see me in my environment, you know, on a day-to-day basis, and you know, it helps in a way. Connect with people so they can, you know, actually see what my environment looks like, and the sort of monotony of the background is quite deliberate. Like, I could have put a filter on, or I could have made it more interesting, but I sort of yeah, I wanted to show people rather than just write about it. You know, I do like writing, and you know, I have been told I'm quite good at it, you know, and so I did think about doing this all as a written journal. That's the sort of thing I would have done in the past. I'm not really used to being on camera like this, so yeah, it was a decision that I made just because I you know, I enjoy watching people's video diaries and video blogs and things, and also I thought just the monotony of seeing my ugly mug in this position every day, with this ugly door behind me, would sort of bring you a little bit into the monotony of my world at the moment, you know, my days. So there you go. So I will be looking down to check my notes to make sure I'm talking about the things that I wanted to talk about, because if I don't, and then it preys on my mind until the next video, and I think, oh, I wanted to tell people about this, or I wanted to mention somebody or say this or that. So yeah, I'm going to be using a few notes today. Hopefully I'm not looking down too much. But yeah, that's the first thing. Second thing, I just wanted to say a genuine, heartfelt thanks to everybody who's actually watching these. I don't know how many it is. YouTube tells me like maybe 10 people watch the video after a few days. But I'm not really interested in the number of how many people. The fact that some people are watching it, and more importantly, they're letting me know that they're watching it, and they're actually commenting. That makes a big difference to me, because especially the first couple of days, I did sort of feel like I might be just talking to myself, shouting into the void, which even if that was the case, I would still do it, but it's nice when people actually let me know they've watched it and actually mention something that I said, and then it feels a little bit more like a conversation, or you know, a dialogue that I'm able to have. So thank you for watching. Thank you for commenting or sending me a message or emailing me. Anything you do is really appreciated. It's the nicest thing that you can do for me at the moment, is just, yeah, send me a message sometimes. I do have messages coming through on my phone all day, but you know, sometimes it's just, you know, like a quick check-in, and then they go away and stuff. So yeah, send me an email if you like. If you want to help me, then send me an email, not like every day, but you know, every few days. Let me know what you're up to in your life, and that kind of stuff would be nice. Yeah. So today's day 6, as I mentioned, which means I passed one of my milestones, which was the 1/3 of the way through milestone. So I got to that last night after day 5. Just a little bit over a third. Day 15 is release day, so I've done 15. I've done 5 days so far, so I'm over a third of the way through now, and yeah, it's a funny milestone, a third, because it's you know, a third of the time is gone. You know, a significant chunk of the time is now behind me, but as it feels like I've been in here a long time, a third. When I think about a third as a fraction, it always just makes me think about the 2/3 that's left. So if what you've already done feels hard and arduous and like a long time, imagining doing the same thing again twice, 2 more of what I've already done, is a little bit daunting. It's a yeah, it makes it. It does kind of hit me that number, thinking I feel like I've been in here forever now. I'm definitely ready to come out. I mean, I was ready to come out after a day, 2 days, but I have to basically do all what I've done again, and then when that's finished, one more time. But you know, the other thing is we're getting close now to actually the halfway point, the end of tomorrow. So tomorrow night I'll have completed 7 days, which I think that's a more important milestone in some ways, because you know you're over the hump. Then you're downhill all the way. More time behind you than you've got in front of you, whereas at the moment it's the opposite. So yeah, getting to the end of tomorrow will definitely be significant for me. I'll have to think of a way to celebrate that. If you have any ideas, let me know. What can I do to celebrate my my halfway mark? Yeah, so I guess I do what I usually do, talk a little bit about the last 24 hours. Or it's been a little bit longer than that, actually. I think it's probably been about 36 hours now since I last made a video, because I think I made the last one yesterday morning, and now it's the next day in the evening, so something like that. What's changed? Well, I mentioned in the last video that I got the VR. Let me actually go and get that. Just bear with me 1 second. Okay, there you go. Yes, so here's my VR, my Oculus Quest 2. It's the first time since I've had it. I mean, I've had some fun with it, but it's the first time that I've really been grateful for the technology, and realized how sort of amazing it can be in order to transport you out of a place for a little bit, in a way that a screen, a phone, a laptop, a TV, it can't really do, just because you're still looking at a screen in your environment. Whereas when I put this on, I'm actually in a different environment. You know, I can't see my room anymore. I can be, whether I'm playing table tennis in a big gymnasium, or I'm on a nature walk, or I'm doing Tai Chi in a forest or whatever. It does get me out of the room, and in a way that you can't really understand if you haven't never put a VR headset on before. Some people might just think, yeah, but isn't it just a screen that's closer to your eyes? Well, it is, but the fact is, when you're wearing it, as you look around, you are looking around your environment. You know, you can turn 360 degrees, you can look what's behind you, you can step this way and this way. To all extents and purposes, your brain is being fooled into thinking, you're somewhere else. It's not perfect, the illusion, it's not as good as real life. You are still aware that you're in a virtual reality, but it's good, and it's a lot better than it used to be. It's getting better all the time, and so having the VR has just opened up a whole new range of possibilities. I can play VR poker in a room with other people, putting my chips down. I haven't done that yet, but I can play chess VR, which is kind of fun. You can be in a big library or a hall or something, and play chess. Or, like I said, I can be doing these sort of nature walks where you go into different biomes, different environments, forests, oceans, tundra, mountains. I can climb a mountain. I have a game called Climb 2, which actually involves climbing mountains, being able to do all that in this little, like, 2 by 2 meter room, which is like my main bedroom, is really amazing. I haven't explored all the different possibilities yet. I've played some table tennis, and I've done some Tai Chi, which is kind of cool. It guides your hands through the actions. You can see where you need to put them, and there's little orbs that you follow. And when you're like in perfect sync, the music gets louder, and the music's very calming. The environments are very calming. The voice that's telling you what to do is very calming, and I felt very centered and peaceful when I finished my little Tai Chi routine today. So I tried to watch it as a video the day before, couldn't get into it, but VR brings it to a new level. So the VR is wonderful, so thanks again to my lovely wife Xiaoyan for sending that to me and getting it to me so quickly after I thought about it. It was there the next morning. I mentioned it like lunchtime, and then the next day it arrived, so that was really great. Thank you. I don't know if Cheyenne actually watches these. I think she told me that it's boring just listening to me talk, which yeah, I guess it is. I'm not sure I would listen to me talk for 20 minutes, but anyway, if you are watching, thank you. Yeah, so VR has changed my quarantine experience quite a bit so far, and continue to do so. Got a new game on my Switch. Started playing a Pokemon game, which I do have other games and things, but a lot of them, what I really like about Pokemon is it's a sort of childhood game, and it hasn't changed that much in the formula since the early games I used to play on the Game Boy. So that kind of nostalgia and that kind of very peaceful gaming, where it's not too intensive or that stressful or difficult. It's a slow adventure that unfolds in a quite predictable way, and you collect your Pokemon and you fight other trainers and you you evolve the Pokemon, and it's sort of, I know what's going to happen, and I there's no big surprises really. Maybe there will be, but yeah, it's nice. It's a nice game to go to when it's the end of the day and I just want to chill out, let my mind wander a little bit, but at the same time it's a little bit more engaging and active than just watching things on the laptop. Things on the laptop, Netflix now is usually for when I'm eating. I like to watch something while I eat. I don't just like to sit here in my little gloomy room and and eat alone. So I always put something on the laptop when I'm eating. Mandalorian, now in season 2, gets better and better. If you haven't watched it, you should really watch it. It's really, really good. So I'm enjoying that a lot. And yeah, walking. So that's one thing I didn't see coming, the fact that in quarantine, with all the things that I have available, to me, to divert myself, walking up and down the room is actually, one of the most enjoyable things that I can do. And that says a lot, doesn't it, about, technology and the freedom to, have so much available to stimulate ourselves. The fact that I will choose to actually walk around my room for a part of the day. I did 6,000 steps again today, which took me about an hour, and it wasn't a chore. I put a podcast on. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But yeah, I put a podcast on, and yeah, the time melts by. I kind of get a nice little rhythm going. Yeah, I've changed it a little bit so I can do like a little circle around this area now, put a chair in the middle, so it's not just walking straight backwards and forwards. I feel like I'm actually able to turn a little bit. Yeah, I walk to the window and back basically. When I get to the window, I get a little reward of seeing, outside. Yeah, also today I noticed for the first time there were birds in the tree outside my window. The little Japanese white-eye, birds, little green birds, tiny little things. And that was really nice to see that. I didn't think there was anything in that tree, alive. And that's another lesson, even in areas where you think are, in cities and, sort of dead zones and things, there's always life. And yeah, seeing these little birds hopping from branch to branch just a few feet away from my window, that was really nice. I thought about getting the camera and but I can't really open the window and I didn't want to scare them. So yeah, I just watched them hop about a little bit, and then they disappeared, and then I hoped they would come back again, but I didn't see them again. They don't live in the tree, I guess. Yeah, and that's sort of the nature of white eyes. They're they travel in little flocks, and they sort of move from tree to tree, hunting, eating the bugs, and then they'll move on to the next tree when they're done. So hopefully they'll be back, and I'll get to see them on a regular basis. Now I know they're there, I'll actually look out for them. So yeah, having some contact, not quite contact, but seeing birds. I like birds, I like taking pictures of them, like watching them, like listening to them. So yeah, that was really cool. That brightened my day a little bit. Small things, little things. Yeah, so I was talking about walking up and down, and the fact I was listening to a podcast, which is not something I'm generally into. I have been listening to more audiobooks recently, over the last year or two, when I'm walking to work. For me, it's something I only really do when I'm walking, because if I'm not walking on the way to somewhere, then I'm usually doing something else. I wouldn't sit down and listen to a podcast. Maybe I should, but anyway, walking gives me time to sort of kill two birds with one stone, get my exercise in, and also take in something, just by listening. And I'm listening to the Josh Rogan Experience, which is a podcast, quite famous, I guess. Maybe people already know it or not. I mean, I'd heard of it, but I hadn't actually, listened to it before. Where he interviews various people over a long period. It's not a short interview. It can last for a couple of hours, and some of them even like 3 or 4 hours, I think. So very long, in-depth conversations with people that go off on various different tangents. And I'm listening to the one with Jordan Peterson at the moment, which is interesting. Interesting personally for me, because I've never liked the guy, and never liked his opinions, his politics, and the sort of movement that he's involved in. So I've always been pretty vocal in my criticism of him. But this interview he's doing with Josh Rogan, and Josh Rogan's also been criticized in the past for being a little bit, a gateway to the alt-right, is one way he was described. But anyway, I've been listening to these two have a conversation, and I've actually been learning quite a lot, and challenging some of my opinions and views by listening. And that might alarm some people. He's gone into quarantine, and he's gone to the dark side. He started listening to Jordan Peterson. I mean, I'm not saying I'm buying into his his politics or his ideas wholesale, but I mean, he's an interesting guy to listen to. There's no denying that. And the way he talks, and the way Josh Rogan challenges him on things. There's a lot of interesting ideas there. Some of them which apply to me and are useful for me. One of the things is, he talks a lot about honesty, and not being afraid to talk about, to show sides of yourself, or to say things, just for the sake of being ostracized, or and when I think about the way the world is at the moment, and the way that people polarized, and constantly coming at each other from two sort of irreconcilable positions. It's a useful exercise for me to to be in here, and also to expose myself to other ideas, and see what's worth taking on board, and what's what I'm happy to discard. And I think I do fall into that category of people that finds myself in their own echo chamber a lot of the time, with my circle of friends, and the things that I watch, and the people I read, and the comedians that I watch. So I haven't got to the end of it yet, so I'm not really going to go into much detail. Maybe I'll talk a bit more about it tomorrow, but it's fair to say I'm enjoying listening to it, and I'm learning some things. So who'd have thought? One of the things that they talk about a lot is the importance of conversation, and friendship, and dialogue, which comes about when two people talk honestly to each other, and trust each other. In order to they talk about trust. It's important to talk to people who you, in good faith, when we talk about different ideas and we have debates or arguments, the idea that you're doing it in good faith, you're not trying to show another person up, or defeat them or embarrass them, or show how you're superior in some way. You're exchanging ideas and sort of challenging each other, and the process of dialogue, and how it's really, really important for humans, and how actually being with other people but not having proper conversations and not talking to them and listening to them is akin to being isolated, which obviously I am now, and I am able to have conversations with people and text people and video chat with people and things. So that element hasn't been taken away from me, even though I'm in isolation. But the idea that you can be isolated even when you're around other people if you're not